Well, hello and welcome back. This is Lois Kofi. Happy Friday to you. Welcome back to the Healthy and Wealthy and Wise podcast show. Every Friday, as usual, I come back here to inspire, educate, and empower you with an amazing expert interview. And thanks for those that are tuning in that maybe were there yesterday for the first time. We had a special featured guest. And my passion, as even though I am a sales trainer, I do have a huge heart and background, 19 years worth of being in the health and fitness industry part-time and actually even full-time as a personal trainer for a while. And so part of my foundation for my business is always looking out for you, looking out for your health, and of course, your wealth and wisdom. Health, wealth, and wisdom are the three tenets and the focuses of this podcast. And today, I'm excited to have Lannie Pullon from Indiana. He's actually a fellow BNI member. I met him 2 years ago. He's a personal trainer. And so we're going to be talking today about, how do you navigate, how do you stay healthy and fit during COVID-19, during this pandemic, this new normal. And each week I invite a different guest, and today happens to be that topic of health. So without further ado, I always want to turn it right over to my guest right away, and Lannie, and just allow you as my guest to be able to share more about your story, share about why you do what you do, and as much as you want to share about your background and where you're located and all that good stuff.
Absolutely. Thanks again for inviting me. Absolutely honored to be on this podcast. I am a personal trainer. I've been a personal trainer and fitness coach since 2006. So I've been around the block, as I like to say, and I own my own business in 2012. I went out on my own, stopped working for other facilities and went out on my own, and it's been amazing. Now, when it comes to, how'd you become a personal trainer? Honestly, I went through different certifications, different studies, but I honestly have a true passion and background when it comes to fitness. I've been all through high school. I was the sports guy. I played tennis. I was a wrestler, baseball. Sports was a part of our lives. Growing up, little league stuff, it was a part of our lives. After high school, did a little bit of college. As far as studying, I didn't play any sports college, and life happened. I ended up found this woman I married, and college stopped. But I still wanted to play sports and still had to find that outlet because it's still part of me. It's ingrained in my DNA. Absolutely, right? And I fell in love with the world of powerlifting. So I have multiple national titles, state titles. I have a world powerlifting title. And with all of that being as a base background, it evolved. So I became a strongman competitor. So I have a state title, some national competitive. I didn't win the nationals, but I've been in the national runnings. And then I also moved into Highland Games, where I am a multinational, multi-state, been a part of the United States team that competed against the Scotland team in 2004. I'm a master's competitor now that I'm over 40. I get to be in the master's class. I was lucky also with some hard work, and because I love lifting weights and training, I was able to finish 2019 as the number one ranked under 200-pound master's class competitor. We haven't done any competing really this year because of our current situation, which is fine. But I'm still focused to remain that title. I want to keep that title, so I'm still training, waiting for that opportunity to compete. So I do have a passion for fitness, and it's, like I said again, it's in my DNA. So if you're wondering where it comes from, I live it and breathe it every day. Now,
and you're pretty amazing. I've seen you in a kilt. I wish I could share your picture right now. You have to tell them, anybody that can wear a kilt and pull that off looking good is pretty unique.
Yeah, you got to have a little bit of swagger when you're wearing a kilt. Doesn't matter if at a Scottish festival or just walking down the street to get dinner. You got to have a little bit of swagger when you're wearing a kilt. But the nice thing is as most people know, kilts are your family. That's your heritage. So that's a great way to flash your family background out to everybody instantly because of the way kilts are designed and with the patterns being for your heritage, which is one of the reasons why I'm in Scottish Games, because I have a Scottish heritage. But let's talk about fitness, right? So I have a couple different styles here in Bloomington that I can actually work with. One, I do have a brick and mortar building. So I have clients that come in and see me. We do sessions once, two, three times a week from all levels. Whether I have the youngest I've ever had is an 8-year-old. The oldest I have currently right now is a 78-year-old, and all different fitness levels, from somebody wanting to be an athlete going off through high school into college, which we've helped. When I say we, I do have some staffing with me, but we've helped those get into college, those athletes. And we've helped your local weekend warriors that just want to play football with their buddies on the weekend, or the mom that has, had twins for 18 years. It was all about her twins. And then finally she wanted to feel about herself. So we helped her regain her fitness level, at an older age. And she'll admit that she did it at an older age, but she wanted to live for her kids, and she lived for her kids for 18 years. And then she turned it to herself. So we help, you name it, no matter what age, no matter what fitness level, we help those in person. But what has happened, as we said, and as you've said already, is this is the new normal. The globe has shut down for now 2-3 months, some areas longer. How was I able to maintain my fitness level? Well, I do have a studio, don't get me wrong, so I can go and lift my own weights. But because of the way the new normal went, I was locked in at home. So what did I do? I have body weight that I can use. I'm 200 pounds, 210 pounds, depending on off-season weight, right? But I can train exercises with my body that can actually fatigue, wear you out, but in a good way. And then, I have a few little weights, dumbbells, and other equipment that I can bring in and use. Now, with my clients, all my clients shifted to online for the 2 months that I was locked home. And locked home sounds like a bad thing. It actually was a great thing for my family, but we were shut down. My studio was locked down because we just couldn't go because of government. So I moved all my clients online. So this is where I have my second phase of my business. Is I actually incorporated a online pro training program 2 years ago. And it's an impact fitness training app that I write your workouts for you. And for my clients, I write those workouts for them. And we use, if they have equipment, we use the equipment they have. They have dumbbells, med balls, you name it, we use it. If they don't have equipment, we use their body. Your body's, just as good as anything else, right? You can do push-ups, you can do squats, you can jump. If you have anything you can do to make your body move, we can use that to exercise. And few of my clients are like, well, I still want weights. I still want to feel like I got something in my hands, but I don't have anything. What can I use? And I'm like, do you have water bottles? They're like, yeah. I said, fill your water bottles up, and those are your dumbbells. Use soup cans, use a flour bag. I had one client, they wanted to have a little bit more resistance with their legs. So they took the books. So you can see I got books here, but they took books off their shelf and they put it in a backpack. And they wore it like a weighted vest so they could get a little bit more resistance while they were doing legs. So you don't necessarily have to have that dumbbell or those plates or those weights to train at home. And it's a big misconception because, we always think of working out, you need to have weights and everything.
Well, and I think you when you started it 2 years ago, obviously you didn't know COVID was happening. No one saw that coming. So you were quite honestly genius and brilliant. You were already positioned to pivot. I think you were doing it though more for your clients that traveled too, right? Or maybe even in the middle of in Indiana winter where you live, and I was in Minnesota when I met you, and you don't always want to drive to the gym because your life might be in danger. It was that. Tell us a little bit more about why did you decide to start online training?
One of those things is exactly that. I was getting phone calls from potential clients that wanted to know if I could help them and they were travel. Like one gentleman called me. He was an airplane pilot. He flew for one of the big airplane companies, and he would fly. And he was like, "Can you help me?" And I was like, "Well, I can write workouts for you," but it just wasn't what he was wanting. And then I would have some other potential clients calling me like, "Hey, I travel for business. I don't know how to use equipment at a hotel, or I'm just in a room. Can you help me out? And because I was getting a consistent level of those phone calls, I looked into this online training 2 years ago. And I'm going to quote you from now on that you called me a brilliant and genius for moving online. But it was initially started as a third leg to the business, you know, and it ended up with our current situation being the main leg of the business. But it ended up being a great format for not only the clients I was seeing in person, because then they were able to maintain their fitness level at home, but then it opened up a new world for people that knew they needed to become healthier, and they didn't really feel comfortable with going to a fitness facility because they still don't know how the world is, but they're comfortable going into their basement or working out in their living room. And this allowed me as a person to come into their home via their phone or tablet on this app and help them become a more fitness person, to help them stay healthier, you know, and hopefully live longer.
Well, and I applaud you, because just as a sales trainer and a business owner, entrepreneur, and especially now, I've been coaching people on how to pivot and how do you become future proof, recession proof. Recessions happen every 8 to 10 years, whether we like it or not. This one is particularly heavy because I just heard an updated stat. There's 40 million unemployed, and like 20 million jobs completely just poof, eradicated. Like they may not come back. And so some personal trainers, I saw someone, they shut their, it ended up just the 2 months, they didn't have the cash reserves. The overhead was crushing them business, and they shut it down. I mean, that's devastating for me to see. And so you thanks, Desiree. Sorry about that, folks. This is real live. This is what happens when you have a live studio audience and young children around. So thanks for that. Lannie's got what? You got 5 kids, right?
5 total, yeah. We're all the way up to 20. So
yeah, I sometimes use my kids to do bicep curls. Anyway,
absolutely.
enough about that. But for the most part, you're brilliant. I'll say it again. You're brilliant and genius for being able to have multiple streams of income in your own business, because you got to have that. So I don't know if it was that part of your plan to be able to create another stream of income.
Yeah, absolutely. The idea was to have multiple settings to bring in to the business, because you always want your business to grow. Just one style isn't going to make that business grow, so you got to have a few different areas that is going to help funnel everything into your company. And that's what I was looking for, and having this online presence helped me do that. Plus it also freed up a little bit of time for me personally, because I was able to then still be able to add more clients into my company and still bring a revenue stream. But I was able to set it up enough so where I still had time with my family. Like I said, I got 5 kids. As a personal trainer, most personal trainers look at it as, all right, I got one client, that's 1 hour. Another client, that's another hour. I mean, I don't want to spend 12, 20 hours in a building working with everybody when I can set programs up online and do daily check-ins with everybody, and it can be minimized on my end and still give my clients the maximum support they need. That's what I was really looking at.
Well, you might even have it. I'm going to throw this out there for you. Predict, kind of be your oracle. I've referred to a couple of other personal trainers who were like, man, I don't know what to do. I said, hey, I got a guy. I know Lannie. I mean, you could become a consultant for other trainers, because I remember in personal training, I don't do it anymore. I've moved on to sales training. And for you, do you hear a lot of, I'm going to just kind of throw this out there because I think it was common for me. It's got to be common for you. Were your top 2 objections time and money when it came to clients saying yes or saying no to working with you?
A lot of it was time. The money wasn't a big deal with those who wanted to come see me personally. A lot of it was time, is because, I was getting to a point where I was so full with clientele that they wanted the times that I already had filled. And so I needed to find a way to still fill that time for them and give them, the knowledge that I have. It was just done in a different format. And that's why we have, like I said, I have the online. And, when you're good, it's not like I'm bragging, but when you're really good in your industry with what you do, people seek you out and they want you, and they don't want the second place. They want the first place person. And that's why a lot of times it's, me with my clientele, they want me. I'm the guy with the name. I'm the one that has the background, and they are willing to then, if they can't meet me in person, they are more than happy to go online to that way they can have my knowledge and capability that help them going forward.
Yeah, you're able to give yourself you're able to capture a bigger net, or cast, a bigger net globally, because now you can have clients anywhere in the world.
Absolutely.
With training online. And I love the app, by the way, guys. I've used it. It's phenomenal. It's very user friendly. Ever since becoming a mom, I don't have time, like you said, time. I don't even want to go to the gym. Like, even if I was in Indiana, obviously I'd actually probably want to come in, because then we can go have a beer mimosa after the workout, right? Okay, well, we're not talking nutrition today. We're not talking nutrition. That was a few weeks back with Julie Lichfield. But anyway, I digress. But I used to be a gym rat. I don't want to do that anymore. I work out at home, so it's great to use your app. It's very user friendly. Like you said, your expertise, your knowledge, it's safe. Maybe you can speak to maybe any testimonials, if you have any testimonials with people who've been using your online training, even since COVID. I know you've been doing it for 2 years, but can you share or speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, I'll give you two. So I have one gentleman that signed on. He was one of those gentlemen where he had a little bit of a weight room in his house. Then he would go to a regular gym, a brick and mortar gym, where he would go and lift weights and all this stuff. And, he knew he needed something because his regular gym was shut down. He had a little bit of stuff in his house. So he signed on with me. I wrote his workouts to what we were looking for his needs. And within weeks, he fell in love with it, because he was learning to use new muscles that he has never used before, or if he's used them, he's never used them correctly. Excuse me, because in all of my programs, they come with a video. And if you don't know what the exercise is, you pull up the video, and the video shows you how to do the exercise, and then it shows you the modifications. So you're knowing how to do things very correctly. So it's not a matter of, just do bicep curls, you're on your own. I'm going to explain to you how to do it, and this is the proper way to do it. And then, so he fell in love with it. So he, as far as I know, he hasn't gone to the gym, and the gyms are opened up now here where I'm at in Indiana. So he's still doing his stuff at home with my app and is loving it. And then the other one is the lady, she knew she needed something. She was concerned that she needed to exercise. She was concerned she needed to build her immune system up. She knew exercise was the way to do it. And she just didn't want to go to a gym. And that was one of the reasons why she never worked out with somebody or worked out generally, other than just going for walks, is she was uncomfortable. You go to a normal gym, there's mirrors everywhere. There's, some guy over here grunting, dropping weights. You got some cutie, Miss Perfect, everything's in the right place, taking photos of themselves. She didn't want that, and so she, reached out to me. We were able to put her in a program, and she went from never being able to do a push-up to where just last week she told me she did 5 regular push-ups, where she was up, not on her knees, 5 regular push-ups. So, I mean, that's a huge testimonial for somebody, that's was afraid, knew she had to do something. And with our modification work that we use in the videos in our programming, she was able to then make a huge leap forward and is excited for her future in her fitness and her health.
That's awesome. You make it so accessible, and you I don't know why I didn't bring this up earlier, so I'm really glad you brought it up. With COVID and all of the concerns, working out and being able to boost that immune system is so important. And yeah, if you're stuck in your house, that's the the catch-22 of, yeah, we're safe in our home, we're not being exposed to potential germs, but then people have been gaining weight, people have been having weakened immune systems because stress and cortisol not coming from exercise, because that's good stress and it helps purge the toxins, it helps flush the toxins out. Perfect timing, you're drinking your water. So all of that, when you work out, right, you tend to sweat it out and you tend to drink more water to flush out the stuff. So that's a great testimonial right there as to how you can help people prevent COVID. And I know your program is very affordable. I know before we end here, guys, if you're tuning in live, we are going to offer up a really smoking opportunity to experience Lannie's amazing app and online personal training. Is there any other tips you have, obviously besides them trying out your program online, any other tips staying healthy during these stressful times, staying fit, anything else that in your wisdom of, because how long have you been a trainer again?
Since 2006.
Okay, so a long time. So 14 years of experience, guys. Lannie knows his stuff, and I'll be sharing his email address here before we end, so you can reach out to him, obviously, and follow him on Facebook, all of that good stuff. But any other last tips that you'd like to share?
Be smart. Like I said, when you're locked at home, and the world's starting to open up slowly, the refrigerator is still there, and be smart when you go and open that door. I'm not going to lie. The first week when I was locked home, I didn't realize what I was doing. I'll be the first to admit, fitness isn't easy. Staying healthy isn't easy. We all have these little hiccups in the road, but the good thing is fitness doesn't go away. Helping yourself become healthier is never going to go away. But just when you open that fridge, be smart about what you're eating. And it may not be what you're eating, it's the amount of which you're eating. I take pineapple as a big example. I love pineapple. I could sit and eat an entire pineapple. But the thing is if you eat too much pineapple, it ends up flipping into sugar, and you may as well just eat 2 pieces of cake and just call it a day. So you don't do yourself any good. But just be more conscious about the amount. You can still have your cheeseburger. You can still have, 1 or 2 slices of pizza. Just don't eat the whole pizza. Don't eat all 12 slices. Mm-hmm. And always you'll see me drinking water like crazy. I personally drink at a minimum 1 gallon water a day.
Yeah, well, isn't it like I know the old adage was 8 to 12 glasses, but don't you teach people like half your body weight in ounces of water is a good measure?
It will be. Age does vary, which is it's just normal, and then also male female will change just a little bit, but not much. But usually, if you do like half your body in ounces, it's going to work out perfect. But because of the training I do on a consistent basis, like I said, at a minimum, I'll drink 1 gallon. I usually get to 1.5 gallons a day. But again, like I said, I work out at a different level than somebody who doesn't compete. So the amount of water I take in is going to be more than, say, you that doesn't compete at a powerlifting or strength level that I do.
No, this mom is. I'm no longer that Ironman triathlete who's training 2 to 3 hours a day.
I will say that the biggest thing, if you can not do it and can avoid it as much as possible, sometimes it's not as easy is not drink sodas or pop. If you can avoid energy drinks, those things there are going to be better for you long term than you grabbing that apple juice. There's sugar in the apple juice, but it's going to be a lot healthier than drinking that soda, that Coke, that pop or whatever it is in those energy drinks, because it's just the way the aspartame and some of the stuff that infects into your body just causes you to feel sluggish, and that's when you stop working out and you grab the junk food because you feel horrible on yourself.
Well, Ethan, this is a fun one for you to. I've never asked you this question before, so I'm putting you on the spot. But I know back in the day when I was training, even when I worked at the gym, they were selling all these things. Obviously, 5 Hour Energy and muscle milk. the Gatorades and all of that stuff. What is your thought process on that? Because that's very brainwashed in society, all these advertisements. And then, of course, if you go into the gym, they have all of these products. How does someone know it's really for them?
Honestly, Julie, the lady, our friend you had a couple weeks ago, she would be ideal for them to reach out. I personally, I've been through the gamut. I mean, I've been through the BCAAs, I've been through the energy drinks, I've been to the pre-workouts, you name it, I've been through it all, right? And what I have found personally, and this is what I tell my clients, is protein. A nice, clean whey protein. Now, there's some people who are allergic to whey, so of course avoid that. But a nice, clean protein is going to be helpful. And when I say protein, it's something that's not full of sugars, and you can find them. And those are going to be great for your recovery time for after your workouts. And you can also use them for a meal replacement on, say, a Saturday, Sunday, you don't work out on those days. Maybe add those in as a meal replacement, but don't make them your main source of meal replacement as far as breakfast and dinner or anything. Just one, or have one right after your workouts. Because if you can recover faster, you're going to be able to keep yourself healthier, because then you're not struggling for your next training session. And if that way then if you're not struggling on your next training session, you're going to improve yourself, which then we're going to go back to, you're going to be boosting your immune system. You're going to be kicking those endorphins in to help your stress level go away or decrease your stress level and make you feel a little happier and really feel that self of accomplishment, which is always what we're looking for.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Awesome. I know we're going to be wrapping it up here soon, folks. I just have a couple more things to cover. Thank you so much, Lannie, for your amazing knowledge. If there's a person out there that has a question, please type it in the comments and I'll ask you that question as soon as it comes up, Lannie. My closing question for you, and then we're going to share with you guys an amazing, very generous offer to save some money and get fit with Lannie. When you hear my phrase, healthy and wealthy and wise, which is my choice, I call it my holy trinity, my trifecta, being a triathlete, I'm like all about everything in threes. When you hear healthy and wealthy and wise, what does that mean to you?
It's family. I got 5 kids and I got siblings and all, it's family. So my favorite time is when we're sitting around the kitchen table, eating dinner, eating lunch, laughing, having a good time. I want to be able to be around and see that for the rest of my life. Mm. When someone says, I got to make money, I have my money. My money's sitting at that dinner table, talking with my kids, joking, asking them about their day, asking my wife, how was work? That's what healthy, wealthy, and wise means to me.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. I love it. Because there's no wrong answer. I think that's a very personal thing. And you said it. That's so true, because if you don't have your wealth, which is family and relationships, and you don't have your health to be able to enjoy those, then for sure there's not a lot of wisdom that goes around for that. Sweet. Well, I know that you have a coupon code and an opportunity for people to save some money. So Absolutely. First, I'm going to put up your email address. But can you explain to them, and guys, this is his contact information to reach out to him in general, right, for questions, and then of course to take advantage of your online training. So tell them a little bit about what that offer is.
So what we're going to do is, if you were on here today and you mentioned that you were watching the video, you contact me. I'm going to give you 2 weeks of free online training. So I'll write workouts for you for 2 weeks for free. No gimmicks, no questions, nothing. All right. And then if you want to continue on after the 2 weeks, you use the code LoisCoffee10. I'm going to give you $10 off your purchase of any package moving forward.
Awesome. That's amazing. 2 free weeks to work out. He's going to write these workouts for you, so personalized. That's a very generous offer. And then, of course, I do have streaming here the coupon code. Now, I will say this, Lannie, this is recorded for posterity. Do you want to set like a deadline for them to reach out to you for the 2 free weeks?
By the end of July.
Awesome.
Yeah,
sweet.
We'll extend it out through the end of July because, that's what we do. You know, I was born to a pay it forward person. You were born the same way. We were raised this way. So end of July, if you reach out about this, I'll give you the 2 free weeks. We'll leave the code up there for however long. I don't care about that. That's great for, for just your podcast, for, all of us, for the world is what it's here for. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your giver's gain. Generous offer. And the cool thing is we're going into summer, right? And people might actually, like, I know I'm going, we're finally going to get out of here and we're going to the mountains for Father's Day. And so being able to travel and take you with us, so to speak. And a lot of people go to the cabin in the summer, or you might actually, even if you don't travel, you can take Lannie outside. I worked out in my backyard with your app. You normally can't do that. Like I used to do the Beachbody workouts. I think I shared that with you, and you can't always take those outside with you as easily. So I think what you offer is tremendous. So thank you so much. Any other last words of wisdom that you want to share before we close out?
Again, I want to thank you for inviting me on this. This was amazing. And whenever you exercise, whatever you feel during your workout, your future self is always going to thank you for it.
Awesome. I love that. The compound effect you're talking about. Yeah, your daily habits are going to impact your future and your family's future too, because your kids are watching, right? You have 5, I have 3. They're seeing what we're doing, and you can make an impact for generations to come with what Lannie's sharing with us today. So that's it for our show today, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Again, if you're just happening to find this or stumble upon this, whether it's on YouTube or a Facebook page, whatever, if a friend shared it with you or if Lannie shared it with you, subscribe to this podcast every week. I do a monologue on the first part of the week about health, wealth, or wisdom. And then every, of course, Friday, I have someone like Lannie. And next week, we're transitioning to wealth. I actually have John Given, who is a local bankruptcy attorney here in Southern California, talking about bankruptcy, talking about the financial burdens and challenges and debt and turmoil that a lot of people are experiencing because of COVID. And sometimes that word BK is scary, and we want to take the fear out of that and come with compassion and kindness and understanding, and share with you kind of his takeaways and tips on how bankruptcy can be a good thing for you. So thanks again, Lannie. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Until next time, stay healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is Lois Kofi again, owner of Lois Kofi Enterprises. Thanks for taking time to be here today. Bye-bye for now.